Hello, welcome to Railgun S episode 11 review. I was a little late on this one, but I figured might as well get it out and let everyone hear my thoughts on this episode. Now, starting this episode, we're going to begin with it. This episode is technically a recap from season 1 of Index. It's basically episode 10, but this time, instead of from Touma's perspective and his narration, we see it from Misaka and her point of view. And if you don't know the episode, it's basically it's Touma. He's trying to get soda from a vending machine, but the machine ate his money and he's having typical bad luck. And Misaka kind of walks over and sees him like struggling with the machine. She's kind of like gets a little grin on her face and walks over to help him. Well, more like troll him. And that's basically what happens in the first half of this episode. We see Misaka she kicks the machine and it spits out like I don't know how many sodas. Like I want to say at least 15 different sodas. Drinks, and they run away because the machine starts making having an alarm goes off. And during that time, we had Kuroko hanging out with Satin and Haru. They were all three of them are kind of just hanging out, talking about things. And Satin kind of makes silly comments that Misaka's been out every day of the week because she's met a guy and she's got a boyfriend now, which kind of upsets Kuroko. She kind of freaks out, like, no, that's not possible. Misaka only likes me, that type of thing. And she kind of teleports away after hearing the vending machine going off the alarm. And she arrives and she kind of is shocked when she sees Misaka sitting next to a guy. She's just like thinking that Satin might be correct on her assumption that Misaka's got a boyfriend now. She's like, oh, well, this can't be. So she walks over there, or teleports over there, and kind of messes with Touma for a bit, like, saying that, oh, it's great to meet you, you're such a great guy to be with, Misaka, whatever, all this stuff. And in her meantime, she's got this weird logic. She's thinking that if Misaka grows to hate, this guy, maybe she might come back to me and like girls or something. It was very weird. It's kind of funny too, watching her reaction towards Misaka hanging out with Touma. And that's where Kuroko kind of leaves. Misaka's clone, one of the clones, comes up to her. This is Misaka 131, and if you know Index lore or storyline, she's basically the one that Touma kind of like meets firsthand. It's like the first time you met one of the sisters. So basically, someone else gets to meet the clones besides Misaka. And with that, Misaka kind of sees her and freaks out, and kind of grabs her and kind of pulls her to the side. Like quickly kind of leaves Touma by himself because she has to talk to this clone. And in doing so, she's still blaming herself for the clones being killed off by Accelerator. So it's more of the same with her. She's still fighting that whole bit with her past about the clones and stuff, which is fine, And to go back with Touma a little bit, sorry. This is technically after he lost his memories the first time, so the fight on the bridge with Misaka, he would have forgot. His first time meeting her, he forgot. Other fights I guess done with her, he kind of forgot about that too. Because in the storyline, I think he saves Index, and doing so, one of the feathers from one of her magic spells hits his head, and he loses all his memories up to that point. So like I said, he's already done the fight with Railgun on the bridge, and he forgot about that. So. But going back to the clone, Misaka kind of tells her to just leave me alone. Clone kind of accepts that and walks off. And the other core of the episode is basically Misaka learning that all of Academy City is basically evil. All the labs she's been destroying, it kind of didn't really help, because now there's even more labs spread out around Academy City, making more clones. So it's like she's never going to end the experiment ever in the level 6 shift project. She's not going to ever end that. So she gets the mindset of the whole Academy City is against her. That's her enemy. So she starts hating the whole city, basically. And in doing so, she kind of learns about the tree diagram again, which, if you learn the storyline, it's a massive computer that's in space that controls, like, it basically contains all the experimental data from all the cloning experiments. So Misaka kind of gets in her head that she has to destroy that computer because it's got all the data, and the scientists kind of need that. So with that, we have also Accelerator. Speaking of him, the level 6 thing. we learn more about his past, like how he was pulled into all this experimental stuff. It was just a simple bribe that one of these scientist guys told him that, why have the power you have now? He's currently level 5 in the past, still very powerful. He's just like, what if you had more power? What would would you want that? And so that's kind of where he gets roped into the experiment, with them kind of hanging the idea of power above his head, that if you get this power, you can obtain anything you want, whatever you desire. But he doesn't really want much, he just wants power, so he's kind of easily roped into that experiment. And at the end of the episode, Misaka kind of presents Kuroko with a question of like, if I did something bad to upset Academy City, would you be mad if you found out it was me? And Kuroko's kind of like confused, like, why would she say something like that? Like, okay. But in reality, Misaka kind of tells herself if she got caught by Kuroko in all of Judgment, she would be fine with that if it was Kuroko and all her friends. And that's just more hints towards what she's going to be doing next in a couple episodes. And for my favorite moments in this episode, Kuroko, even though she's this oddball character that no one really likes, she has her comical moments, and this was like another one of those episodes that really made that's her character shine, is like this goofball that, especially in the expression department, she's just, her face reactions to everything just kind of made me laugh. Like her seeing Touma and Misaka together, Satin's comment about her having a boyfriend, and all these things just added something hilarious with her. And from the else of this episode, like I said, it's a, technically a recap from episode 10 of season 1 Index, but we get to see like a boost in art. The animation just didn't get upgraded, and Misaka's acting towards Touma in that. In episode 10, originally in Index, she's kind of like more playful and like flirty with him. Not in a flirty like a boyfriend way, like she's just flirting with him, like, kind of teasing him a little bit. And when the sister shows up, the clone, she doesn't really freak out like she did in this episode. Instead, she's kind of like leaning on the other girl's shoulder, like, oh, hey sister, and all this stuff, like, what are you doing here? Kind of plays off as a joke, and they kind of walk off. But in this episode, it's the opposite. Misaka's more aggressive towards Touma about the sodas and everything, and she freaks out when she sees the clone, especially another person seeing the clone for her first time. It's kind of funny to her. And the other thing would be Touma's back. I'm kind of excited he's back, even though he's not the best character. I know that. I mean, he's an okay character, and although he gets a lot of hate because he is, like, I guess, punches women in the face, and he is overpowered. So, yeah. And after that, I would say it was nice seeing familiar scenes from Index Season 1. Episode 10 again, we saw near the end with Touma kind of like hanging out with the clone, the sisters, helping him bring all these sodas back to his room. And I was kind of hoping we might see Index, but I don't think we're going to see her. Railgun Season 1 didn't really do that either, so if they showed her, I think it would be kind of weird, but it works. And as far as episode 12 goes, it's going to be basically Misaka fighting this supercomputer on the ground. Because if you know kind of the storyline, again, Index is the one who technically blows up the tree diagram from space with her, I guess, dragon breath attack, they kind of call it that. So that's been my review of Railgun episode 11. Hope you guys stick around for 12. So, and I don't know what, if you're still listening, if I'm doing anything for summer. There's a few shows I wanted to do, but Aniplex kind of grabbed it, so it's kind of gonna be maybe 2 shows. We'll see. Anyway, I'm out. See you.